Hey friends, happy Friday. So my name's Ellen. I'm from Wild Birds Unlimited in Joliet. On Fridays, we go live to tell you what's new, what's happening at the store, what's happening out in nature. And as spring starts to roll in, we're starting to see new bird faces at our feeders, or we will be seeing new bird faces at our feeders. So it's always kind of a fun time of year. I call it the Christmas for birders because spring is so exciting. We get new birds coming in. We're saying goodbye to a couple new, birds that have come in for winter. But we still are seeing around, a couple days ago I saw a junco. People have been seeing the red-breasted nuthatch still. So it's not like the birds all of a sudden say, oh, spring, time to leave. It's true. They do have an internal clock that tells them when to leave. But the birds know when is the right time to go. So don't have to worry about if juncos are still staying here. They know when to go. Just like our hummingbirds know when is the time to come up north. So keep a lookout. Keep watching those bird ID tracking maps like eBird or Journey North. Those are some good options too, to kind of track when they will be arriving. So keep an eye out. If you see or hear of a sighting in Will County, please let us know. We would love to be able to help share the first arrival of any of those birds, our spring and summer birds, with our local community. So yay to that. So we have a couple cool things coming up in April that I want to share with you today. But first I want to show you a couple of the cool new stakes that we've got in because they are just so fun. They're all bouncy and fun. So we have birds, we have frogs because we know how lovely frogs are. This one's actually lights up. Frogs are pretty popular here at the store as well as birds. So a couple of these cute things have come in, making your yard super beautiful for spring. Lots of bouncy butterflies and things like that. So be sure you stop in. I know the postcard has arrived, and many of you have either told us or brought it in. Know that we have a postcard with full of coupons coming out. It should have landed at your doors. It starts tomorrow. So these coupons are in celebration of Mother's Day in spring. So we hope that you come in and use them to save on food, decor, maybe that bird bath that you've been eyeing, whatever your heart desires. But they're for you. We really appreciate all of you as our customers. So please use them. Okay. Also happening in April, tomorrow specifically, is we're having our spring feeder cleaning event. So how that works is you will come in with your feeders, preferably empty. Please empty any seed from your feeders if you can. And what you'll do is you'll bring them in and we're going to intake them. So what you'll do is you'll sign our little waiver, you'll put your name down with a phone number and how many feeders and accessories you're bringing. And then we will take those feeders and back to clean. So what happens is while it's getting cleaned, you of course can shop the store. Usually it doesn't take super long depending on how many feeders are ahead of you. But we'll clean them up. We have a good routine and a good process here, so we'll be able to move those feeders through pretty quickly. Of course, if any of your feeders are Wild Birds Unlimited feeders and we can repair them here in this shop, we will definitely 100% repair them for you. And then once they are ready, we will either let you know if you're here at the store and you can take them home, or we'll give you a call if you had left. And it's not a big deal. If it takes a couple hours or even if you have to wait until Sunday to pick it up, that's okay too. The important thing with feeder cleaning is all about the birds. We truly want our community local flocks to be healthy and happy, returning back to your feeders. Just like us, we don't like to eat from a dirty plate, and neither do your birds. So make sure that you're offering a fresh plate for your birds, your bird feeder, and the birds are going to come back more and more. So that is the big thing. In preparation for spring and all the arrival of the spring birds coming, we are making sure that our feeders are clean and it's a healthy environment for them to return back for more. All right, so tomorrow's feeder cleaning event goes from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can bring feeders in any time between those times. Some of you have actually brought off feeders already, which is pretty awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We do ask for a suggested donation of $3 per feeder. So that donation is going to go to the Girl Scouts troop that is coming tomorrow to help us clean. They are working on a fundraising mission. They're going to have some adults with them, so we're going to have some extra hands on board. But we always love to support our community. So thank you to the Girl Scout troop number 75738. You guys are wonderful. I myself was a Girl Scout back in the day, so I know all the fundraising that you guys do and all the great work that you do for community and for nature. So thank you. Also happening coming up is our on Monday is our bird outing for April. So that's at 9 o'clock in the morning. We meet at the Rock Run Preserve right up the street. We meet at the Black Road Access. So if you would like to join us, everyone and anyone is welcome. I definitely recommend to dress for the weather, whatever that may be. We go rain or shine. And bring optics if you have them. If you don't have them, don't worry. I usually have an extra pair that you can borrow, or you can check out the wonderful selection that we have here at the store for purchase, all right? Also happening in April is the Nature Foundation's trivia. So trivia night is on April 17th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. This is at the Heroes West Sports Grill in Joliet. So a new location. It's $50 for a ticket, but it includes like dinner and I believe a drink. So definitely come by and check that out. Registration is online. Go to the Nature Foundation's of Will County's website, and you'll find all the information on how to join there. I think I've also shared it on our page, so if you scroll down a little bit, you probably will find the post with a link right to the registration. But last time, it was a lot of fun. Wild Birds Unlimited has at least 2 teams this time, so it should be a really great time. Great to be with friends that love nature and to support our local forest preserve, so because they are awesome as well. For our events happening coming up, we also have a presentation in store all about nesting neighbors. So if you want to learn a little bit more in depth on how the nesting season works for birds from egg until fledging, this is a great presentation. Really informative, lots of good information, and it of course gives tips and tricks on how to provide that happy home for the birds in your own backyard, right within your backyard. So lots of good stuff. That's April 18th at 11 a.m. Like all of our events here at the store, presentation wise, it's recommended to call the store to reserve a seat. Usually we have limited seating, but of course everyone is welcome. So also happening in April, at the very end, we have a special event all around our advanced poll system. So stay tuned for more information on that. And early talking, I know we're not quite there in May yet, but I want to talk about May 1st because this is our container garden workshop. So if you remember last year and even the year I think before that, we held a workshop here at the store where you built your own container garden. So how it all works is it's a $45 fee, but your fee includes your pot, the soil, and all the plants that are going to go in it. Now this particular container is all going to be about a pollinator garden. We are so lucky to have Kelsey Shaw from Possibility Place Nursery coming to help us do the workshop. So great expertise in native plants and lots of fun. I really recommend that you call early to register for the seats because we do have limited seating for this workshop, but it's going to be a great time, different plants than last time. So if you've done it before, it's not like you're going to be double upping on things that you have had previously. So likely these are all going to be new plants and new an assortment that will be going into your container. So lots of good stuff coming up. All of our events for April are on our website. So go check them out. Don't forget, Earth Day is in April. Celebrate the Earth. It's going to be so good. If you are around on April 25th in Bolingbrook, they have an Earth Day celebration. I think it's called the Earth Day Festival at Hidden Oaks Nature Center in Bolingbrook. And that event goes from 2 to 6 p.m. So we will be there. So come by and say hi. It has been a really great event for the last time that they did it. So I'm really excited. I know my kids will be so excited. So definitely come and check that out. Now, tonight, we're going to do a short live. I want to talk about feeder cleaning and specifically how to clean our feeders, because I think I only do it about maybe twice a year, and I think it's a good time to talk about it. We're going to go over some tips and tricks to how to best do the process at home so it doesn't, one, make a big mess, and then it's super, super easy, all right? Oh, I forgot my feeder. Let me go grab one. 1 second, hold on. All right. For the sake of this demonstration, we're just gonna use a feeder like this for the sake of it. But let's say that this was your dirty feeder from outside and it's been outside all winter and you need to bring it in to clean. Now, if there is anything in the feeder before we begin cleaning it, it is very, very important that we get almost all, if not every little piece of seed out of here. The reason for that is so it doesn't gum up either your sink or the bin that you are cleaning in. Okay, so number one is always, the first step is empty out your feeder of any debris that might be inside. So sometimes it's just as easy as taking the top or bottom off and shaking it out and emptying it. Sometimes in two feeders like this, seed gets sometimes caught around the ports or inside a little bit. This is a great time to take your dry, repeat, dry toothbrush and stick it in here to kind of knock loose any of the debris that might be sticking. Okay, dry brush, dry feeder, clean it out so that none of the seed is inside. All right, step 2 is going to be preparing either your bin, because I like to use a bin, and I'll show you my bin here in a second, or a utility sink, or if it's your kitchen sink, you could use your kitchen sink. I don't really love cleaning my feeders in my kitchen sink just because that's a place where I'm usually cooking or preparing food. And for my feeders where wildlife touches, I don't like kind of mixing the two. So for me, if I don't have a utility sink, I use a bin, and I'll show you what my bin looks like. This is kind of what we use here at the store when we do your feeder cleaning events. So we actually have many of these bins, and we set up 3 of them for one station. And how it works is in the first bin, I have my cleaning bin. So this bin is going to be full with nice hot water or warm water and my nice soapy dish soap. Okay, I like to use Dawn, but honestly any dish soap that you have is going to work. But that is what's going to be in bin number 1. Bin number 2 is going to be a sanitized bath. So this is going to be another water. I like hot water and a 10% bleach solution. So that could be essentially like 1 part bleach to 9 parts water. All right, really simple. So you could use a measuring cup if you need to, but that's what I like to do. Again, I like to use my Clorox bleach, but any bleach will work. It doesn't have to be a Clorox. It can be non-name brand generic bleach as well. But the idea is that this second bath is going to kill off any bacteria or virus that might be still on your feeder after going through the wash first cycle. The last bin that I prepare is a water bath. It's essentially just the rinse bath. So with the 3, we'll kind of talk through it. Other things that I like to have during my feeder cleanings is gloves, because again, we're talking about wildlife and we don't know what kind of things that we might be touching when we're touching the feeder. It could be any kind of things. So prepare yourself and protect yourself by using gloves, all right? And of course, brushes. Now, brushes come in all sorts of shapes and styles. Some are long for very large tubes. Some are a little bit shorter, looks a little bit different. Some are teeny tiny for hummingbird and oriole feeders. Some of them for those port feeders. You could use sponges. You can use rags. Any of the above that I mentioned, it's going to be perfect to clean your feeder. Whatever is going to do the job is what you want to use. I prefer tube brushes specifically when I'm cleaning tubes because it is just easier. All right. Sometimes I even use my bird bath brush for large trays or for hopper feeders because that nice bristles, that thick, stiff bristles, works really well at cleaning off the grime and crud that collects on bird feeders, especially roofs and baffles and things like that. All right. So now that we've discarded all the old food and we've prepared our baths, and mind you, when I'm doing this in a utility sink at home, I'm doing each step one at a time. So if I have 3 feeders, I'm going to do step 1 for all 3 feeders. I'm going to do step 2 for all 3 feeders and step 3 for all 3 feeders, okay? I'm not emptying and refilling for each feeder. I'm going to do it all in once and put it all together. Okay, so after we've taken out all the seed, we've started the water and made either our tubs or done preparing for step 1, which is simply to soap it up and clean it up. So again, tub 1 has water and dish soap, and this is where we're scrubbing. We're going to put our feeder in there. I like to disassemble it completely. So for the 2 feeder, right, we have a lid on it. There's a base that goes with it. So if you are cleaning this, we're going to take off that base with those push button bottoms. We're going to open up that lid and we're going to lay it in our bin or in your sink, your utility sink, and soak it. Let it sit for a little bit. While that's happening, I like to take apart the bottom part. Now this part has a couple different parts that you could take apart, but truly the only part that I think is super necessary to take apart, unless you know it's really nasty under there, is definitely the diverter. And this diverter has these little lips on it, if you can see here, and they simply stick right in here. So when you are putting it back, it clips in. And when you're taking it out, you just have to push the either side here, put a little bit of pressure, and pull up, and it comes right off. All right? Sometimes they stick, so sometimes you need to use a little bit of strength or wiggle it out a little bit, but I'm telling you, it pops right off. This is usually as far as you may need to go to totally clean it. Now, if you see gunk on the inside of here, and it does happen, you can, in fact, take this back cover off. What I like to use to do this is oftentimes a flathead screwdriver. And what I'll do is I'll stick it in one of these side little bins here. I was seeing if I had my screwdriver out here, but it looks like I forgot it. But you stick it in one of these little sides and it will pop off. Don't worry about breaking it. You're probably not going to break it. I've never broken one myself and by taking any of these off, but just take it out. Inside here are springs and your buttons, so it's important to be a little cautious when you take it off because now those springs might be exposed, and if you are a little too rough with it, a spring could go flying. Don't worry, bring it in here. We're going to replace your spring for you, all right? We have them all the time. Okay, but let's say that you're doing it at home, you took it off, everything's good. Let's all put it in the first bath, that water and soap mixture. We're going to use all of our tools, such as our gloves, right? We're going to put our gloves on. We're going to use our tools, such as our brushes, and we're going to clean all parts of the feeder, inside and outside, taking special care around the feeder ports. This spot right here around the feeders are the spots that are the most used by the birds. This is where birds are sometimes rubbing up against the feeder. This is where bacteria and viruses will be spread because just like humans like to share germs, birds will do the same thing, and this is where they're gathering. So we're going to take special care around the feeder ports to make sure that they are extra, extra clean so that birds are staying healthy. Okay, once you have scrubbed it all up, it is time for bath number 2, which in theory could be from the same tub. If you are using, let's say, a utility sink, you could drain the water, refill the water, and make that 10% bleach solution. Again, 1 part bleach, 9 parts water. I like to use hot water for this step, but again, it probably doesn't really matter if it's just a sanitary soak. But what we're doing is taking that sudsy, scrubbed up feeder and all of its parts, and we're going to stick it in that bleach solution. All right, the whole goal of this is to turn it around and make sure every part of your feeder is completely saturated with that solution. Let it sit for a couple minutes. Doing so will ensure that all the bacteria and viruses that may be still living on the feeder are completely killed. Okay, so we're going to make sure that they're all gone so that it's perfectly safe and healthy for our birds. The next part is the last part, which is essentially a rinse. This is where we are taking all those parts again that we have taken apart and washed up, then sanitized, and now we're going to put them into a rinse bath. So sometimes it's just water and running it through under the sink. Sometimes it's just filling the bin and putting all the feeder parts in there and letting them soak and running it through it a couple times until it's running clear and there's no suds or anything left on the feeder. Especially after that bleach bath, we want to make sure that our feeder is completely clear of all that bleach and any of those chemicals. So be sure you rinse well. Once you are completely done cleaning all the feeders that you are cleaning, now comes the drying part. Sometimes it's just a matter of hanging it up or setting it out somewhere where it can completely dry. I personally like to keep all my parts apart while they're drying. Now, I understand that sometimes we can't always do that, such as when we're here at the feeder cleaning event, we start putting it all together for drying so that it stays together. But at home, I like to keep everything separate so that it dries completely and dries quicker. All right, if it's together and you put the base back on and close the lid and hang it up, all that moisture in here takes a little bit longer to escape from the holes than if you had the bottom open and we left the top up. This tube could dry so much more faster if you leave it open. Okay, so that's my big tip there, is leave it open to completely dry. Once it is completely dry, now is the time to put it all together. Okay, put that lid back on, put the bottom back on, fill it with your favorite seed blend. I recommend WBU No Mess blend. That's my personal favorite. But whatever your favorite seed blend is from Wild Birds Unlimited, fill it up, put that lid back on, and hang it back out there because your birds are going to be so anxious to have it back. Now, when I'm cleaning feeders at home, I do a rotation because really we want to be able to clean these feeders pretty frequently. It is recommended to clean them every 2 weeks. If you are, on top of things, you could start a rotation. So sometimes it's nice to not take all the feeders out of your yard when you're cleaning. Maybe we'll take only half of them. And then the following week, take the other half, so that things are in rotation and there's always something out there for the birds, right? Because if you take all the feeders away, your birds might think that your restaurant has closed and they might head out to the neighbors or out of town. So be sure that you keep some feeder out there and that you are showing them that you are going to be reliable and be there for them when they are ready to come back and eat at your restaurant, your feeder, right? So unless you guys have any questions, I definitely invite you to come tomorrow for our feeder cleaning event. Again, that is tomorrow from 10 to 3 p.m. The Girl Scout troop number 75738 will be here helping to clean feeders, making sure that your birds are healthy and happy for the spring and summer season. If you have any questions, please feel free to call the store. We are very excited and welcoming for you to come in to have your feeders cleaned. We absolutely love making sure that our local flock stays healthy. So absolutely do enjoy your weekend. We hope to see you this weekend with your postcard in hand. Give us a call if you have any questions. And most of all, thank you for watching with us live here. If you catch the replay, thank you. We totally appreciate it. Don't forget, all of our past lives are on YouTube, and it's in the first comment here. The link is there. You can go there to our YouTube page and check out all the past Friday lives that we have done before, and we hope you enjoy that. Okay, you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next Friday around 5:30ish to tell you what's new, what's happening at the store, and what's happening out in nature. All right, bye now.